Look, I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm gonna get you high today because it's Friday. So, you ain't got no job. You ain't got no shit to do. I do got something to do, folks. And that is do some awesome reviews for you. Well, today it's all about ChocoPro. So we're gonna catch up with the last 5 shows it did. The first one, is, of course, is number 472 Game Changer in Shinkiba that took place earlier in the month of September. And the main event is the Super Asia Championship. Mei Suruga makes her next defense against Rina Yamashita. And the remaining shows, of course, are back in Ichigaya Square on the chocolate mat, and it's going to be a fun time for everybody. So can't wait to go through all of it. And then, as always, we'll cap up our episode as usual with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Lead It Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead It Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world pro wrestling. It's not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the yapping, so let's begin. So as I mentioned, it's all about ChocoPro. So let's begin, of course, with one of their bigger shows in Shinkiba, number 472, Game Changer. Okay, ChocoPro number 472, Game Changer. Now this happened, of course, on September 3rd in Shinkiba First Ring. Now for those who don't know, whenever they do one of their big shows, they usually do it in a much bigger venue, like Shinkiba, Shinjuku Face. Recently they did a couple of shows in Atawashi Green Room, the Tokyo Square in Itabashi, somewhere right there, and other locations. So this is one of their big shows they normally would do. We only have one championship match on that one. That's our main event. But as always, the show begins with Shuga does her usual theme song with Kaho and whoever joins her, and this time she had Obi by her side. So that's how normally things start in the entire big show. Now, our first match, we have a three-way trios match. Team number one, we have Tokiko Kiera. She teams up with Shin Dragon, Shin Suzuki, and Chonchiru. They take on Hiroya Yawada, Wakao Hiromi and Mochi Natsumi versus Irikane, who's been out on injury and now she's back. Chiko Shikawa and of course Sayaka Obihiro, aka Obi. So basically, you know how this type of match is going to be. I mean, it's going to be chaotic in three ways every single time. I mean, each of these individuals have some good strengths and weaknesses, as you normally would see. But in the end, it was in fact Hiromi who picked up an amazing win against a veteran like Obi. And I did not anticipate that whatsoever. So she got a pinfall on her. 1, 2, 3. It was over. Our next match, we have tag team action. We have Soy and Miyatsuba once again teaming up. They take on the makeshift of Charlie Evans and Sayaka, who is one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champions with Makoto, even though she is not involved in this event whatsoever. But it was a pretty good match. I mean, some people would say, you look at Soy and Miyatsuba, they have been a very good cohesion team. Well enough good to show that they are tag team material, and not to mention hopes to win future tag team belts, which is something I personally would love to see. But in this case, it was in fact Sayaka who was able to pick up the pinfall onto Mia, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, our next match is singles action. We have Balinaki taking on Antonio Honda. Now, the one thing you need to be aware of, whatever you do, do not fall by Antonio Honda's usual antics. Now, I'm not talking about the bad antics like we see where people just use chairs and all that. All Antonio Honda needs to do, timeout, and then later he does his little usual story things, you know, that you just sit there, listen, okay, yeah, until he does this and in between your eyes. That's the thing that you want to avoid. But I'm sure Balinaki was not going to fall for it. But out of nowhere, he thought Balinaki had this match won right in the bag until somehow Antonio Honda rolled him up, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. However, he went a little too far. Balinaki decided to choke him out, and of course, he was not happy because the one thing that Balinaki cannot stand is losing to Antonio Honda because of his ways, about his usual ways of how he wins. But that's how it goes. But yeah. Next match, we have an interesting 6-man tag team match. We have Banana Senga, Tsutomu Osugi, and Hagane Shino. They take on Shota Kawakami, Munetatsu Nakamura, and of course Chris Brooks. So this was going to be a very interesting matchup. Now, of course, if you guys know Hagane Shino, he's made perfectly many times in ChocoPro, and not to mention Chiko Shikawa's friend, and not to mention tag partner known as the Egg Tarts. Of course, Shota Kawakami and Munetatsu Nakamura from Gambari, and of course Chris Brooks from DDT, as you've probably seen him a lot of times. But I wasn't too sure where this match was going to go. But it was a fantastic match. It was really good. But it was Senga who picked up the pinfall on Kawakami, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our main event is the Super Asian Championship. Rina Yamashita, who is our challenger, faces the champion, Mei Suruga. Now, of course, Mei has been very successful as our Super Asian champion. She maintained it very well, but this was a match that somehow it was a long time waiting for, because Mei Suruga had dealt with Rina Yamashita many times over. But this is one of those challenges where she has to pick it up. I mean, Mei Suruga is fast as a high speedster, not to mention her usual antics, you know, about trying to do things that she's not supposed to do. But none of that worked in her favor, because Rina Yamashita is not only taller and a bit bigger than her, but she is very strong and everything, and pulls up a great powerhouse. She was able, of course, to put her in a sit-down power bomb, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new Super Asian champion. So just like that, the title has been exchanged. So I'm sure it's a very disappointing moment for Mei. I'm sure she'll come back to it one way or the other, and I'm sure she'll get her revenge on Rina Yamashita sooner or later, but we'll see. But as of right now, we're done with this one with ChocoPro with number 472. Let's move on with number 473. ChocoPro number 473. Now, I want to make things clear for everybody. From here on out, all the remaining shows took place in Ichigaya Square on the chocolate mat, so no need to repeat that over. Now, this particular one took place on the 8th of September, so that way you guys know exactly what took place. Opening show, we have our general manager Ai Kizuki doing her usual thing, greeting the fans, giving the info on the matches, yada yada yada. But let's begin, of course, with the first match. The first match, we have tag team action. We have Munetatsu Nakamura and Sayaka Obihiro taking on the Best Bros, Mei Shiruga and Balin Aki. Now, of course, many of you can picture this, that the Best Bros are, in fact, a very good, highly cohesion team. Because, of course, look, you look at Mei Shiruga, very methodical with her usual tactics, her speed, and all of that. Balin as a powerhouse in some ways, and his aggressiveness plays out pretty well. And of course, you look at the opponent team, Munetatsu Nakamura. Well, we know he's good. We know he can live up to the expectations. Obi, a veteran of course, of Emi Sakura, knows exactly what she's doing. She has a very unorthodox ability. But however, you probably could look at it as them being the makeshift team most likely could lose, and that's exactly what this one about. Of course, we've seen a great cohesion with the Best Bros all the time, but they were able to pick up the win when they double pinned Obi, when they intentionally got rid of Nakamura on the other side of the mat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next match, we have Soy and Miya Yatsuba once again teaming up. They take on Hiromi Yawada and Chi Koshikawa. Now, of course, much like we saw with the first match, Soy and Miya Yatsuba, even though they are a team that are getting their footing in and they're doing it very well, there is no doubt in my mind that they could possibly be, hopefully, able to obtain the Asian Dream Tag Team belts. That's something that I'm hoping that could happen. But, however, they face in, of course, a team like Hiromi Yawada, who is a bit of a rookie in some ways, and of course Chiko Shikawa, who is a bit more experienced than her. But nonetheless, they're like a makeshift team. But like I said, Soy and Mia are a very good cohesion team. I mean, they have worked together very, very well. But it was Mia with the Mia punch onto Hiroyi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our next match, we have, of course, Mochi Natsumi versus Rina Yamashita in a non-title match. Now, of course, if Mochi defeats Rina, that most likely she can get an opportunity of the Super Asian Championship. And don't forget, guys, Mochi is also a student of Emi Sakura, much like Mei, Sayaka Obihiro, everybody else. But nonetheless, of course, these two ladies have come across each other outside of ChocoPro before, and that is, of course, because they both were involved in hardcore death matches in the past. But that wasn't the case either for this one. But in the end, of course, we did see a very interesting, funny moment. Of course, I mean, there was a roles reverse with the ref, and of course, general manager Kizuki was the referee for the night. Basically, what happened is Kizuki shift from referee to wrestler, while Mochi became wrestler to referee, like reverse. Like, what the hell is this? But that's exactly what happened. I don't know. It's like, what the hell just happened? But nonetheless, it was just too darn funny. But in the end, Rina Yamashita walked away with the win, with, of course, a lariat, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, for our Jonkin tournament, well, I wasn't too sure where this was going to go, but I can tell you who won this entire tournament. It was a very old general manager, Ai Kizuki, and just like that, she won. But runner-up is none other than Soy. Now, I know Soy has won maybe the Jonkin tournament here and there, but nonetheless, that's how it works. So that's what really happened on number 473 in ChocoPro. So let's move on to our next ChocoPro event, still in Nichigaya Square, and that is, of course, number 474. Okay, as we continue with more with ChocoPro, we are now in number 474, and this happened, well, on September 11th. Yes, folks. I know it's what that day specifies for many Americans, but yeah, it lied in there, so sorry. So anyway, the show opened up with Balanaki doing the usual greetings and the info of the events, matches, and all that. So that's out of the way. So let's move on with, of course, our first match. Our first match, we have Kaho Hiromi teaming up with Shin Suzuki. They take on the Egg Tarts, Chiko Shikawa and Hage Nishino. Now, I've often talked about whenever I see tag teams that are mostly good at what they do, they are very good cohesion. The Egg Tarts are also in that matter, but they changed their dynamic just a little bit. Let me give you guys a brief background about that. The reason that I mentioned that was because Hage Nishino has always been saying, look, you looked at me as a protector, but now it's time for you to step up your game. You don't need me, your protector. And that's exactly what she did. She decided to stop looking at Hagane as a protector, but more of a equal partner. And that's exactly the way. The only reason Hagane requested this was because he views the Best Bros as the better tag team. And that's why he wanted that. And she realized that if they ever going to win the tag team belts, they need to be more cohesion than ever. And that's exactly what she's been doing. And that's what they've been doing whenever they team up here and there. But of course, you would think that their opponents would be an easy one. I mean, look, we know Kaho has a bit of a childish way to do things, to play around. I mean, I know she butted heads with Hagen too many times, but Chin, we know he's a strong, capable wrestler. We know what he can do. I mean, he has a bit of an athletic side to him. But unfortunately, she was able to pick up the win onto Kaho, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next match, we have Hiroya Yawada teaming up with Soy, which was very interesting because we know that Soy, of time and time, whenever she participates in ChocoPro, she teams up with Mia, but now she teams up with someone else who it's a bit of a class behind her, of course, Hiromi, and nothing less. They face against, of course, the Best Bros, Mei Suga and Balanaki. Now, of course, it's no secret, of course, that we have seen, May take on both these ladies in either in tag teams or in individually. That's how it rolls up from it. But of course, like any other tag team, we know the Best Bros are a very good, decorated cohesion team. We've always seen all the time. I mean, they are what, two-time Asian Dream Tag Team champions, and each of them had held the Super Asian Championship. That's something we've been aware of. But however, they had this match almost close, but luckily May was able to pick up the win when she applied a jackknife onto Hiroyi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now our next match, we have Sayaka Obihiro. She teams up with Antonio Honda, taking on, of course, Munetatsu Nakamura, and he teams up with Rina Yamashita, our current Super Asian champion. So basically, you can tell these teams are a bit of a makeshift, but the real question, who will walk out as the successful team for this particular match? I mean, we look at Sayaka Obihiro, she's a bit of an unorthodox wrestler using what she likes to call Obi magic, and Antonio Honda with his usual, antics, being a storyteller, singing and dancing, that sort of thing. Munetatsu Nakamura, very strong, capable wrestler. Rina Yamashita, who is a powerhouse and also a deathmatch queen, but also our current Super Asia champion. You probably can tell how that was going to roll. But in the end, we did. Well, of course, Honda was going to do his usual stories, but it didn't last long until, of course, Yamashita was able to apply a lariat onto Obi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, for our Jonkin tournament, this one, I wasn't too sure, but the winner, for the one who won the Jonkin tournament, was Chiko Shikawa, which, of course, I'm not surprised, but I have seen her win the Jonkin tournament here and there. But her runner-up is none other than Soy. So that pretty much what happened on number 474. So let's move on to the next ChocoPro event, and that is, of course, number 475. Okay, we continue with more with ChocoPro. Now we are in number 475, and this happened on the 18th of September. Opening of the show once again is Balinaki, of course, doing the usual greetings and giving the info of the events, matches, yada yada yada. So let's begin with our first match. I believe once again we have Soy teaming up with Shin Suzuki. They take on Sayaka and Hagane Shino. So like another makeshift team here for all of you. Now, of course, sometimes when we see makeshifts, we don't know how they, in fact, will cooperate with each other as an actual tag team. We've seen tag teams over time how they are. I mean, you look at Soy. She's a bit of a powerhouse for her size. You look at Shin Suzuki, athletic and a bit of a kind of a martial arts status in some capacity, if you know what I mean. Um, we have Sayaka. She calls herself Smiley Violence, even though she was never like that from the beginning, but then she did, and she has gained a lot of confidence in herself and her growth, and not to mention one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champion with Makoto. Hagane Shino, well, he's a well-known veteran in the Japanese wrestling scene, mostly in the independents, so you probably can tell each of the strengths. But the real question: who walks out the win? To be honest with you, it could have happened either way, but it was Sayaka who picked up the win when she applied a pinfall onto Soy, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Our next match, we have singles action. We have Kaho Hiromi taking on Chiko Shikawa. Now, of course, recently, as you know, in the last review, these two ladies actually had a tag team match, and now it's singles action. Now, the one thing is this: Kaho is a bit of a has a childish way of herself, not in a bad way, but more of a, look at me, I'm cute. Let me present you my little stunt I'm about to do. She's been known as the too much energy. I mean, she does have a lot of energy. Not gonna lie about that. But however, how you gonna handle this? I mean, I have to say, Kaho really stood up to her no matter what because of her how she's very high energy, how she's able to do all the things she can do. But in the end, Kaho was unsuccessful to defeat her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she wins the match. Next up, we have Shota Kawakami and Munetatsu Kawakami. They take on the Best Bros, Balmanaki and Mei Shuga. Now, of course, we have seen Munetatsu Nakamura and Shota Kawakami. Sorry about that. I would say those two, I would say they're a good tag team, but they're not yet, how do I say, when they're coming in sync, if they are. But you look at the Best Bros, they are highly decorated. They're highly, of course, very cohesion within themselves, as always. So that's also put in a very good perspective. But, however, of course, they have to. The Best Bros have to rely on each other like they always do. I mean, you look at Balinaki has a bit of an aggressive side and, of course, a powerhouse side. Mei Shuga can rely on her, of course, speed, but not to mention her usual shenanigans, like try to get away with certain things by grabbing people in the air or that sort of thing. But in the end, there was a double pinfall onto Kawakami, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, the Best Bros picked up the win. As for our Junkin tournament, well, I was surprised. We have Mei Shuga winning the chocolate this time, so she won the Junkin tournament, and the runner-up was Hagane Shino. So that's how things end in number 475 in ChocoPro. Now let's do our last final review with ChocoPro, and that is number 476. Okay, final review with ChocoPro number 476. This happened on September 29th. Still in Ichigaya Square, in case anybody asks, because the last reviews, number 473 through right now, that all took place in Ichigaya Square. Just to put it out there for everyone. Uh, this time for our opening of the show, we have, of course, the general manager. No, never mind. We had Balinaki once again opening up the show. I thought it was Kizuki. My bad. I don't know why I was thinking, because she's very awesome when she opens the show. Anyway, our opening match, we have Kao Hiromi teaming up with Chi, which was very interesting because the last two reviews with this one we saw, they were opposite sides of each other. One in a tag team, one in singles. And now they take on Hiromi Yawada and Sayaka. Now, of course, it's no secret about certain things about this. Hiroi, we know she is finding her footing, getting her rhythm, and of course her growth when it comes to in her professional wrestling career. Sayaka, one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champions from Makoto. And then, of course, you look at Kaho and Chi. They're almost similar in some ways. I mean, Kaho is like a new version of Mei, but much friendly and nice, even though Chi, as you all know, there's a bit of a rivalry between her and Mei. And I think she looks at Kaho, well, like, my enemy is my friend. That sort of thing. But I have to say they work very well, not going to lie. I mean, I know she has been through many tag team partners. I mean, she has won the Asian Dream Tag Team belts with Obi, but never with Hagane. And I think this could be an opportunity for her to try other tag team partners that maybe one day she could regain those tag team belts yet. But one thing that was clear, you probably would have thought, okay, Kao Hiromi, who is the least experienced wrestler, would have been the one to take the fall. But nope, it was in fact Hiroi who actually ended up losing when she got pinned by Chi. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, we have Iri Kane and Tokiko Kihara. It's been a while since we seen Iri in the Chocolate Square. They take on the Best Bros, Mei Shruga and Balin Aki. So, of course, you would look at this like, okay, Iri Kane and Tokiko, in fact, I know those two outside the ring, they have hanged out with each other. They had lunch together sometimes, but as a tag team, we haven't seen them that much. I mean, Tokiko normally would team up with Antonio Honda, but nonetheless, Best Bros, as we all know, they are a very good cohesion team, and that's exactly what we've been seeing with them the entire time. But however, it was Mei Shruga that walked away with the win when she applied a submission onto Iri, kind of like another version of the Mudo lock, but much different. Instead of using the head to lock, she uses the arms as a way. I forgot what she calls it, and that became very effective for her to allow herself and her tag partner Balian Aki to win. And just like that, it was over. Now, our main event, we have Miya Yatsuba taking on Makoto, who is one half of the Asian Dream Tag Team Champions with Sayaka. And it's interesting to see that Miya is facing a much highly decorated wrestler, and not to mention a veteran, which of course would put her to the test. I mean, we know Miya has the capability to become a Bandit Mentor. We know she has challenged the Super Asian Championship before and she lost, but she did prove herself her worth that she should win that belt. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind she will able to pull it off. And that's something we definitely could see. But however, the experience with Makoto was the real X factor of this. She was able to pick up the win when she applied like a somewhat a suplex type. I don't know what it is, but it did the job right. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now for our Jonkin tournament, the winner is none other than Sayaka. She was able to make it through, but the runner-up is Miya Yatsuba. Originally, I thought Miya was going to win after she had an incredible match against Sayaka's tag team partner, and nope, she lost. So that's particularly what happened for this. So I think we're officially done with all the reviews, especially with ChocoPro. But let's move on to our last and final thing, of course, and that is news updates. So welcome to our news update. So let's begin as always with some upcoming events, and majority of it is coming from GCW. Now, many of you may or not heard, they will be making, of course, their debut in the state of Maine. So this is their first time being at another state, and I don't know specifically what part of Maine. I know there is Portland, Maine down there, and I forgot what other locations. But yes, and this is it's called Massacre in Maine, and it's gonna happen on November 8th. So we probably will find out soon enough who will be participating. So we'll see. We do have, of course, the following day they'll be making their way to Vermont on the 9th of November, called the Green Mountain and Me. They announced a very interesting match. We have father and son facing off each other. We have, of course, Rock and Roll, Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express, taking on his son, Kerry Morton. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup. I mean, we've seen that already with Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, but seeing this is another story in itself. So don't compare the two of those matches, folks, because that doesn't do any justice for anybody. And then finally, on the 22nd of November, they will be at for Dream On. They announced the cutest in the world, Maki Ito, taking on Zeta Steel. Now, speaking of Maki Ito, as you know, she is officially now a free agent from Tokyo Shoku Wrestling. She'll be making multiple appearances with GCW, and her schedule was announced. She'll be participating on the 7th in Hartford, Connecticut. She will be at the main show on November 8th, November 9th in Vermont, and then, of course, the Jersey event for Dream On. So that kind of sets it up right there. That's it for the GCW updates, but we do have an update in the upcoming event for events for wrestling. We do have MLW with the Slaughterhouse event that takes place on the 4th of October, and they announced that the MLW National Openweight Championship will be defended. If you guys remember, I mentioned in a development on a previous news update, Blue Panther defeated Ultimo Guerrero for this belt, and now he'll defend it in a three-way against Atlantis and Rugido. Now, one thing that was interesting for me when I heard that Atlantis, the first match I ever watched from CML, when it was known as EMLL back in the day, was Atlantis versus Blue Panther, and Atlantis was the one who won that match, and I completely loved that one. That was one of my very favorite ones that I ever enjoyed. So that's pretty much what happened in the upcoming events. So let's move on to some developments. Now, there's more information coming around, of course, about Masha Slamovich. Many of you know that there's been an internal investigation towards allegations of domestic violence that took place. Apparently, they were saying that she's been got into a very violent way with her ex-boyfriend Akira and all that. Akira recently, as you know, mentioned to people not to speak ill will of Masha Slamovich. I think they are trying to work things out in their own way. Now, this information about the allegations, it was later revealed that someone who knows them completely, a roommate or so, decided to leak this information, and that's what happened. But other thing, as we speak, Victory Road took place. They did announce that, of course, that they pulled Masha Slamovich from this event. So that's what happened. So she was removed because of these allegations. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. We have seen this type of thing before, where wrestlers lose their career because of these allegations of domestic and all that. We don't know what's going to happen to Masha. We know that there were some plans for her, but things didn't go well. So we'll see about that. Now, many of you who know this, of course, Aya Sakura, who's currently a wrestler in Stardom and a member of the Cosmic Angels and former Sendai Girls Junior Weight Champion, she in fact wanted to be an actress, but she kind of gave a little specific details on her career of that. And let me pull that up for all of you real quick. I hear this. She said that, she struggled in the entertainment business, worked only 3 times in 3 years. Yikes. It's like a brainwashing. That's what she was saying. Now, for many of you probably ask yourselves, how the hell did she end up becoming a pro wrestler? Here's the funny part. When the news came around about doing the biopic of Mayu Iwatani, the runner wrestler, Aya Sakura wanted to audition, so she went to the Stardom headquarters, not the movie producers. Like, she might have thought that it's the same thing. No, Stardom had nothing to do with the biopic, so that's how she ended up becoming a pro wrestler. But I want to put this out for those who don't know. Japan, in some things, they don't find success in, like, for the Yoshi wrestlers, they struggle in certain aspects. Like, for many who don't know this, Sayuri Anu was intending to become an actress, but things didn't go well for her because things were not going exactly like she would have hoped. Not to mention, she put her family, her parents, through help financially because she needed financial stability. And then, of course, that's when she ended up becoming a pro wrestler, but not by chance. She was approached by the founder of course, of At Risk Girls, and that's how she ended up becoming a pro wrestler. That's how certain things happen. Like, some wrestlers, in fact, they may not get things involved in the entertainment business. You got Yuki Kamifuku herself. Many of you who may know this about her, she was a model too, but it was not an easy task because they're saying that modeling was a very cutthroat in the business, and she hardly get any gigs, and that's how she ended up becoming a pro wrestler. So it's understandable for Aya Sakura that she struggled an actress in the entertainment business. But I have to say she is doing very well to me in Stardom. Not to mention proving her worth and throwing a little bit of her karate expertise into her wrestling craft, and that's something I like about her. And I know she will become, of course, um, well, we know in her upcoming matches, she and Sayakura will be facing Hanako and Waka Tsukiyama for the New Blood Tag Team belts soon. And I hope she and Sayakura picked up win those belts because it would prove her worth. So we'll see how things will go from there. Uh, but as of right now, let's call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, if you guys remember in the last episode, I did talk about that I want to review Victory Road in the next episode after that. I felt like it was the proper location. I have been aware of what's been going on in Victory Road. Been watching it on social media, on both Instagram and on X as well. But we'll get to that. I have been aware of what other things as well. I do know there's a Stardom event, and luckily I can watch it on YouTube. So I may review those two, and of course AEW Collision. Now I will try to keep up with the other events from the Yoshi wrestling scene, and also try to catch up with Wrestling Noah since they already finished up the N1 victory. So be patient with me on everything else. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.